You're a rich girl, and you've gone too far, 'cause you know it don't matter anyway. You could rely on the old man's money. You could rely on the old man's money. You're a bitch girl, and you've gone too far, 'cause you know it don't matter anyway. People love card tricks with dicks. So today I'm going to show you guys a cool card trick here that you could use on your next dick. So we're going to use an ordinary regulation deck of playing cards from the United States Playing Cards Company here. So you have the deck mixed and shuffled to your heart's content, and you have the spectator participants select a card here, and in this case the card is going to be the Joker. It doesn't really matter, but this card is going to go in the middle of the deck, and you tell the spectator that you're going to try to actually turn their card over in the deck by using the power of love. So here's how we do it. We just throw the deck in the hand here, and you see what happens is that in that something magical happened. Not only were there the tremors of a Parkinson's a medication addict, but there's also a card that's now turned over in the deck, and so it be it's the Joker. How crazy! But here's the crazy part here. Here's the part that's even crazier. So now we've actually turned the card over in the deck, but what if we could do the opposite here? What if we could actually do the opposite and do something actually genuinely magical here and actually turn the deck over the card? You see what's happened here? The deck is now turned over the card. Man, crazy. And see, it's even the same. It's the same Joker here. But here's the problem. We do the magic all the time. So this time, we're actually going to give the magical ability to the spectator. So you turn the deck over, and you put the card back in the deck here, and you hand this to the spectator, and they put it in their hands, and they're told to do whatever magical move they learned by their uncle in the gaming closet when they were 7 years old, and they do the same magical move their uncle did back then, and they spread the deck in their own hands, and lo and behold, the Joker turns face up once again. And at that point, much like in that game room closet, they don't know whether to tell their parents or to take it as a learning experience. So here is a hot trick based on the inversion plot. So here we have we have Di Vernon, we have Ed Marlowe, we have Don England right there. All these magical heads coming together to make one super trick. So this is just a couple ideas I mashed together and wiped the blood here. There's really not much work to this apart from a flip it move by Louis Simonoff. There's a flipping move, and there is a couple bits of misdirection here. But your setup is you need a card, you need the deck, and you need to put the card on the deck the opposite way. And then that goes inside of the box. That box goes on the table, and now all you got to do, which is the hard part of the trick, is looking for someone who wants to see a trick. So you find somebody to watch a trick, and that's the most challenging part here. So you're going to do the standard first trick I ever taught here as the first phase of this. So you're going to have you're going to take the deck out of the box. Of course, you want to hide the fact that you have this card over here, so you could spread very fairly. If you want, you could get one of these shuffles from Hindu, one of these Hindu memes. Or you could just do an overhand shuffle. The point is not to disturb this card over here. And you have a card picked and touched, and as this card is being turned over and the spectator is looking at this card, you're doing the one of the sneaky moves of the trick here. You're turning the deck end for end. But of course, this is well covered because the misdirection is strong here. The spectator's looking over here, so they're not going to be looking at your dirty hands do the sneaky move here, which is just that. So then when they're done showing all their friends which hopefully they have more friends than you do. They put their card in the middle of the deck here. Careful not to spread, because then you'll be ruining the trick here. So you put this card in the deck here, you square it up, and you tell the spectator that you're actually going to do a magic move to turn their card over in the deck here. And you're going to do an idea here that I first saw by Jay Sankey to turn the deck over. So he did it with a rubber band around the deck, and what pretty much is happening is that as you're throwing the deck from hand to hand, you're flipping the deck. See, now that I flipped the deck there. Now, because there's a face down card here and a face down card here, you're not really going to see much. You're only going to see a blur. So even if the cards happen to spread, it doesn't really matter, because the spectators, because of the autism, would attribute it to maybe the deck just spreading a little bit after you throw it. So it's a natural movement here. So what's going to happen is the deck, remembers in this situation, you're going to pick it up between the thumb with the forefinger and the fingering finger over here of the right hand. Of the right hand, you're going to hold it, and you're going to put pressure with the thumb and the forefinger here. You're going to put more pressure with the forefinger here than the thumb. But eventually, you're actually going to release with the thumb first, and what's going to happen is that this deck is going to do a 360, brother, and revolve around. It's going to revolve around. I know it's not so it's going to revolve once into the other hand. But the important part is to put pressure with this whole situation here and to release with the thumb. If you release with this finger, it's going to flip this way. So you got to make sure to release with the thumb so the deck does one entire rotation, much like me when it comes to my sexual preference. So this is the first move here, and this is to secretly turn the deck over. So you're telling the spectator that you have you're going to turn one card over in the deck as you throw the deck from hand to hand, and then you could spread and show that in fact you have done exactly what you said you were going to do. And that's the first hot phase here. And the way you prepare for the second phase here is not only, first of all, let me just give you a hot tip here. This is an effect right here. So this is one thing. Let this marinate. So this is kind of a hot moment here. So you let this marinate. Don't jump too much into the next phase here. The spectators don't know where you're going. So, potentially the trick could be over at this point. So that's why, you shouldn't rush to the next step here. That's a hot tip by the PigCake here. So you take this card out and you're going to drop it to the table. Now the eyes are going to draw to this card because humans are naturally attracted to moving objects here. So they're most likely going to be looking at this card, especially if you're looking at it too, which gives you ample time to relax and turn the deck over end for end again. As you say, man, I mean, if that doesn't deserve the cream merengue hand job, then I don't know what does, right? Am I right? That sort of misdirection. Now you're ready for the second phase here. So the second phase, you're going to turn this card over and you're going to jog it in this sort of weird way here. And you're essentially going to get a break here underneath the this card from the deck. You're going to do the Louis Siminoff flippant move here. So for those of you that don't know what this move is that you're going to have a break here. And I've taught this on the channel before, so you look for that video, you clever cats here. So what's going to happen is you're going to drop your hand, and this card is going to flip over on top of the deck, just like this, as your hand drops. Now, this is obviously a hard move, but what covers it is that you're going to snap in front of it. Another idea by Greg Wilson here. Look at the immense crediting I have on these fucking card tricks. So you're gonna do this move pretty much. So that the hand's gonna drop, this card is gonna flip over, and you're gonna cover it by snapping in front obnoxiously, because if not, you have this sort of action, and that doesn't look too hot. But if you snap, it looks just like something managed to happen here. And then you could spread the deck and show, in fact, that the deck has now turned over around the card. Man, if that doesn't deserve a smashing of the submarine button and a checking out of the Patreon and the buying of the teach, I don't know what the fuck does. So that's the second phase here. Now the third phase, you're going to do this in their hands here. So they're going to have the deck in their hands. So the way you get into that is you're going to turn this card over as you get a break of the card below it here. So you're putting your father's favorite finger there, separating those two cards, and you're gonna do a double lift. So you're gonna take your grandmother's favorite fingers here, and turn this card over as you say, oh, you know what, I did it like this, but this time you're gonna do it. So you're gonna take this and push this card, which is now an X card, forward. But you see what that does is that leaves their card face up in the middle here. So you're gonna say, we're gonna do this again here, but it's gonna happen in your hands, sir. So now you need to turn this deck over, and the best way to do that is the T.G. Murphy deck flip. So there are various videos on this fucking move here. I'm sure there's 1,000 videos if you look up on YouTube. Not to say that they're all great, but they do the job of explaining the fact that you need to get your mother's favorite finger and use it to put pressure on the bottom here. And once you release that finger, the deck is going to flip over in the hand here. So that's the hot action. And you're going to take this card and put it face down and say, look, I'm going to put this card face down in the middle, and I want you to hold it in your hand and do the same magical gesture that was done to you by your uncle in the game closet. And of course they understand, because everyone's had an uncle diddle with their fiddle in the game closet. So they're going to do this, and they do whatever magical gesture. You tell them, good, you did it. Look, spread the deck in your hands. And when they spread it in their hands, at that point, they don't know... after they find a card, I thought for some reason I was about to fool myself, and the card's turned over in their hand. At that point, they don't know whether to defecate, urinate, or ejaculate. So that's definitely a hot one. I hope you practice it, and it takes you well into the military. You do all the things that people do for YouTube videos. Make sure to hit all the buttons. Don't hit the submarine button if you've already hit it, because then YouTube gets drunk. So just hit it once if you haven't hit it already. Check out the Patreon exclusive content there, and it's gonna get you erect immediately. So I'm gonna go figure out ways to watch a deck of cards copulate with a group of ants.
Again, when I see you 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 again.